Hello, I'm Manish, and this is my smart weather monitoring dashboard. I built this in Python and it connects live to the OpenWeatherMap API. And the best part is that everything runs in the background using multi-threading. So when the app launches, it shows this clean dashboard user interface. Up here at the top, I have the red status panel that tells me exactly what each thread is doing in real time, like fetching the forecast, downloading weather maps, plotting graphs, displaying the latest image. So they all run on separate threads, so nothing freezes and the interface always stays smooth. Now, multi-threading is super important in this setup. I didn't want the app to pause every time it's fetching data or drawing a graph. So I wrote each code task like fetching forecast, getting maps, plotting as its own thread using Python threading. And coming to the left section here, this is the MongoDB info panel. So every piece of data this app uses is stored in the MongoDB. So I don't just pull data and discard it. I log everything. So I'll actually open MongoDB Compass and show you the data. All right, this is my local MongoDB server, and here is the database called WeatherDB. Inside it, I've got two collections, the forecast collection. So this stores full 5-day forecast for every city I'm monitoring. For every refresh cycle, it inserts a new document with the city name, forecast data, and timestamp. You can see here, this is the city, and here is a list of temperature readings and weather conditions pulled straight from the API. And there is also a maps collection. This stores the path of the downloaded weather map images and when they were fetched. So the images are saved locally and then displayed on the dashboard. Back in the app, the center section shows the temperature graph. It's powered by Matplotlib and updates in real time. So you can pick any city from the drop down, like I'll select New York for instance, and it fetches the latest forecast and replots it instantly. To the right, you'll see the latest weather map image. This is pulled directly from OpenWeatherMap style API and updated using background thread. Now, this section here, these are live weather alerts. The system scans forecast data for anything like freezing temperature, rain, or snow, or any extreme temperature. If it finds something, it automatically logs and displays an alert within the city, temperature, and time. And finally, I have this countdown timer at the bottom. It tells me when the next background update is going to run based on the interval I've set in the config file. Like here in 3 seconds, it's going to refresh. Yeah, it's done. So yeah, this entire thing is real-time, fully multi-threaded and backed by MongoDB for storage. It runs forever in the background and keeps updating itself and gives you a nice overview of what's going on weather-wise in all your tracked cities. And all the code is on GitHub. Everything is modular and you can add your own cities just by editing the config file. All right, let me quickly walk you through how the code is structured. First, I've got a simple config.json file. This is where I define the cities that I want to monitor and how frequently the app should refresh, which is in seconds. So if I ever want to add more cities or change the interval, I can just update this file. Like no code changes needed actually. Uh, Now, inside my main Python file, I start by importing all the required libraries. I connect to my local MongoDB instance and set up two collections, one for forecast data and another for weather maps. Right here. And then I define a few global variables for thread tracking and set up the GUI using Tkinter. Each section of the dashboard, like the thread, status bar, Mongo info, map viewer, graph, alerts, is organized into separate frames using label frame and grid for layout. So all these are the frames. Coming to the threads. First, we'll talk about the fetch forecast. It's a function, fetch forecast function. So this function here, fetch forecast, is where I call the OpenWeatherMap API. It loops through each city, gets the 5-day forecast, saves it to the MongoDB, and checks if there is any rain, snow, or freezing temperature. If it finds anything, it logs that as an alert. And then we'll talk about the function fetch map. So then there's the map logic, fetch map. So downloads the latest style from the API and saves it with a timestamp. So and view map loads the most recent image from the MongoDB and shows it in the user interface that we have seen. And I also have a function for plotting the forecast. Yeah. So this plot forecast function takes the latest forecast data for the selected city and it uses Matplotlib to plot temperature versus time. Uh, to run all these tasks, all of these uh, are called inside run all tasks function, where I start them each in a separate thread using Python's threading. So they all run in parallel without blocking the interface. And there's also a timer here. This is the drop down for the forecast. And that's it for the code. Thank you.